Okay, so before we move on to the next one, as I said, I need to double check with the estimation of your the formula for total annual cost, which involve your ordering cost, holding cost plus total cost. The issue was about holding cost, stock holding cost. So we will still follow the formula that we had. So holding cost would be same, which means average what? Average cost or average inventory. What was the formula for holding cost? The formula was average stock multiplied by cost of stock holding. Cost of stock holding. In our estimation, this was correct, but we have to find out average stock. In order to estimate average stock, the formula is quantity, order quantity divided by 2, because we are estimating average of this value. So in our calculation, it would be 122.5, not multiplied by 2. In fact, it should be divided by 2, always. All right, always. Because this is order quantity. When we calculate EOQ, EOQ means minimum quantity we should order. So if this is your order quantity, and in our question we have 600 units, and 600 units are not the order. 600 units that customer demands in this question. In this question, 600 units customer demand, and this is your order quantity, which means this. So it means this one is correct, 8, but it should be 122.5 divided by 2. So this number would be something else, and then we'll find out total. So can you tell me how much would be this number if we calculate again? So let me fix it here. So 122.5 divided by 2, then multiply by 8. So which is your cost of stock holding? So how we got this 8? Remember how we got this 8? Yes. 20 pounds, 40%. Right. So this 8 would be equals to 20 pounds multiplied by, yes, we have already here, but any 40%. Okay, so this number would be something else. So how much it would be now? Sorry, how much? 490. So we need to add now 3 numbers. One is this plus this plus this. We will add these 3 numbers. So can you tell me now how much would be the minimum total cost here? How much would be minimum total cost? We add all these 3 numbers, 12,490 and 489. So if you add them all, would be equals to 12,000. Right. So that is your answer. Right. So it was I misunderstood this information. So any question with this question? Any question with this or move on? Move on. Now this EOQ things are done. So now we move on to the next, which is also kind of theory. I want to finish theory everything as soon as possible because whatever I'm going to teach you now, we do not have calculation in that. It's mostly theory concepts. But you also need to know theory because, as I said, maybe your final exams would become in some parts. Question 1, some parts, question 2, some parts, question 3, some parts. So maybe in those some parts, they can ask those types of pure theory questions. So I want to finish that theory early, so we go back to our calculation because still we have some questions to practice about EOQ plus cash conversion cycle, right? So hopefully at the end of the lecture we have plenty of time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to practice all those questions. Right? So now we move on to next. So now we will talk about accounts receivable. Accounts receivables. So remember the main idea behind account receivable. Account receivable play a role when there is a trade-off between liquidity and profitability. As I said, either you choose profitability, then you're giving up the liquidity because you're selling your things on credit. And credit sales equals to account receivable. On the other hand, those two girls, maybe sitting next to him in the morning, they will not come today? These two students? They have to work or something?
Yes.
So in this class, how you work, or do you work in this semester? Are you working somewhere? Yes. No. Generally, do you work somewhere? Like, where do you work? In a company? What kind of job you have? Financial analysis. And how about you? Tax? Is it Vietnamese company or international company?
Intel is
So you work for Intel,
yes.
and your position is
Tax.
tax department. You work in a tax department. And your company Vietnamese or international? Vietnamese company. Do you work somewhere?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Logistic company.
Logistic company. So you work in a finance department, or
Yes.
anybody else work? No, nobody here. Was you backers? You also? No, you don't work? No. And how about those two girls? I think they also work, right?
Yes.
They're sitting with you in the morning. They also work? Yeah. International or Vietnamese company? Vietnamese company. What I was talking about. Trade-off. So if we go with profitability, we sell our product on credit, because as I mentioned in the morning, that when we sell our product, customer prefer credit. So if you go with credit, your profitability will increase. You go with cash, your liquidity increase, but profitability reduced. So this is called the trade-off. So that's why we have to really come up with the optimum or optimal level of transaction related to sales that will maintain our cash as well as profitability. So in order to make changes, that how much we should sell on credit or how much we should sell on cash, in order to do this, we have, so company normally prepare a credit policy, right? So let's talk about credit policy or account receivable policy and all these things. So in order to avoid these kinds of issues, either maximize profit or maximize cash, company establish a credit policy. So company establish a credit policy. So these types of credit policy helps to create a balance, help to create a balance between liquidity and profitability. All right, because of this credit policy, balance between liquidity and profitability. So what are the aspects of this credit policy? This credit policy, I mean, why these credit policies are important, or various aspects. So aspects of credit policy. So with the help of this credit policy, we can analyze customer credit worthiness. Credit worthiness. So whether customer have enough, I would say, ability to give us money or not, because before you selling product to the customer on credit, you have to know customer credit worthiness. How can we know that? We have various methods. So for example, you can look at some reference. Reference means some kinds of testimonial arguments or testimonial statements that someone previously, your customer has given you. Second one is experience. Whether how was your experience with the previous customer? Now you're gonna sell them again. If you have a good experience, bad experience, based on that. Third one is we have some agencies. Those agencies help us to analyze the credit worthiness of all these kinds of customers. Remember, I am maybe not talking about individual customer, but I'm talking about the institutional customers. The customers who are buying the major quantity of their product, not like as individual customer, you and me will go and buy things. That's why they never send us things on credit. They ask cash because they do not know us. And we are a very small customers. If we will not buy there, we go somewhere else. But those institutional customers, they are buying a large amount of product from them. Maybe in revenue, their contribution is 20%. 30% contribution of specific types of customers, they are selling buying your product. So these people known as institutional customers. So in order to know their credit worthiness, company wanna assess whether they would be able to pay money or not. Let me give you another example. Can you give me example in Vietnam? Do you know the name of store, the biggest mobile phone store, who sell different mobile phones? The big companies. But they do not produce, they sell other company products, but very big companies.
Cellphone.
Huh?
You know Cellphone.
I know Tianzong. Yes. FPT.
Yeah.
They are the kinds of very major. Not only Ho Chi Minh City, whole Vietnam. They are famous like in whole Vietnam. These companies are famous only Ho Chi Minh City or around the Vietnam? Entire. What else? Any other companies?
Cellphone. No.
Cellphone.
S.
Yeah, cell phone. Yeah, the red color, right? Red
Yeah,
color.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cell phone. Yeah, cell phone. Yes. But cell phone is a new, right? Is it new or is also old? New. It's growing very fast.
Yes.
Okay. What else company we have? I think these, right? How about like Huafat? No. Winfast Mobile? No, not Winfast. Winfast. PHAT. PHAT. Not Winfast. Winfast. Yes. PHAT. Huafat or Winfast? I don't know. It's still not Winfast.
I think they are small.
They're small. Yeah, but something like that. I don't know. Anyway, because I bought my long time one laptop I bought from them like 10 years back. But now maybe now we have.
Yeah, but it's our small businesses.
Okay. So these are the customers of, because they are selling all famous mobile phones. They're selling iPhones, they're selling Samsung, or probably other companies. So before giving them product, maybe Apple company is looking for their credit worthiness. So how they know their credit worthiness? By applying all this kind of methodology. All right. Apple company, they also have their private stores. They directly sell to you and me. All right. So we are direct contact Apple company, but in some countries, Apple company can reach to customer indirectly more quick rather than the direct. So that's why Apple company goes to the cell phone, Tezazidong, FPT, like all this kind of company to sell product easily. All right, because they have reached to a local customers rather than the Apple authorized reseller. So that's the example of customers. So we are customer, however, they are the primary customer of Apple who buy product in a large quantity, not like as you and me just buy one or two mobile phones. That's it. So I'm talking about those types of customers, right? Not you and me, not me, right?
Like B2B.
Probably B2B, yes, because the B2B playing a major contribution in your revenue. If B2B failed, I mean, if those companies failed, Apple company probably would fail because they will not make a payments to Apple. They have some other strategies that we will discuss later, but I'm just explaining you the how things work. Next one is in credit policy. In credit policy, company also set the amount. They set the amount and time. Time means when companies sell product on credit, how long company giving them time to return money back. This is called time. They set the time allowed. All right. And amount means if company planning to sell its product, company will make its plan that in my total revenue, how much revenue I need cash in my total revenue and how much revenue I need credit. You also need cash. You cannot put everything on credit. So company has to make plan that in my total revenue, how much revenue could be in a form of cash where I will sell only cash. Probably authorized resellers. Remember authorized reseller? So with the help of authorized reseller, Apple company will decide I will directly sell to you and me where customer pay in cash. And second one is indirect, where Apple company will contact to FPT, Tezazidong, and other companies where they sell on credit. Means Apple company will sell them on credit. But Apple company gives so. If I say time, FPT, Tezazidong, blah blah blah. But Apple company will give them time period that you have to return me money back in that time period. So means Apple company putting pressures on FPT, Tezazidong to sell product frequently. So that's why FPT, Tezazidong, they increase their marketing to reach us. Discounts, marketing, Apple company doesn't care about that. Apple company needs money back on time. So Apple company will decide time to those people who are B2B kind of thing. And now directly reaching customers, but Apple company has to decide how much cash and how much is not cash. So that's the idea behind when you are setting credit policy, you are determining or deciding all these factors, right? Next one is, so they also have to get ready for some other kinds of issues that you may face. Because no matter how much rules we make it, things doesn't go as we plan. So you have to get ready for unexpected outcomes. So get ready for unexpected consequences. unexpected. So how can you deal with those unexpected consequences? Through legal actions. If your account receivables are not able to return money back to you on time, probably you have to go through the legal actions. Apple company may take legal actions to those businesses they are not returning money back to them, but still they're operating their business. They did not declare bankruptcy. For example, FPT has to pay money, but FPT hasn't declared the bankruptcy, and according to your account receivable collection period, time's already reached, but they hasn't paid you, so that's why they have to come up with some other kinds of solution with that issue. So you have to get ready for that. Company make plan for that. Company also monitor the credit system. Monitor the credit system. How can they monitor credit system? How their credit system, credit policy are working based on various methods. And one of method is a ratio, probably account receivable collection period. They keep tracking on their customers, major customers. They have a history, records of their major customers, past experience. Previously, they estimated their account receivable collection period and actually how long they took to return money back to us. So based on the previous experience, they keep monitoring, keep checking how much delay, early payment, not early payment, delay, not delay, on time, not on time, so everything. So that kind of monitoring activity helps them to update or provide some information. Now, next is so we already understand how does company monitor or company look at their credit policy. Now we're going to discuss about that. How does company decide whether we should change our credit policy or not? So we're going to discuss about that factor influencing the decision to change the credit policy. All right, make changes in your credit policy. So we are same page I should do. We are discussing about evaluating a change in credit policy. So how does company evaluate change in credit policy? First of all, based on the contribution, based on contribution. Because the main purpose of changes in your credit policy to know whether change in your credit policy increase your profitability or not. If it's contribute in your profitability, if it's contribute in profitability, so this is a good signal. This is the positive signs that your credit policies are going as we were expecting. Another way is you also look at cost of financing account receivable. Cost of financing debtors or account receivable? Now, what does it mean? Cost of, for example, let me give you example. What is the meaning of cost of financing account receivable? Let's say, for example, companies sell. Company have sales. Company sales is $100. Right? In $100, for example, $35 were cash sales and $65 was credit sales. You got cash. You need $65 after maybe 2 months. All right. Now, right now you have one very good investment opportunity to invest $100. So you already have $35. Now you need $65 now. But customer will not pay you now because time hasn't come yet. Time maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months. So now what you will do, you will, in order to get this money, you will go to bank and you borrow from bank, right? You get money from bank. If you borrow from bank, you have to pay interest. That interest called cost of financing account receivable or cost of financing debtor. So what is cost of financing debtor? Cost of financing debtors equals to balance that you need to receive. How much balance you have to receive? 65. Balance received means you need this money. Multiply by rate. Which rate? Rate of interest. This is called cost of financing debtors or cost of financing accounts receivable. All right. So in this situation, if cost of financing that we will discuss maybe after a couple of slides, if cost of financing is high rather than the discounts you pay to the customer, then you go with discounts. When you sell product to the customer, probably you also give them discounts. When you sell, you give sales discount, right? I give you discounts and I sell product to you, and you will pay me after 2 months, right? So whatever is discount. But I need money during the time to invest somewhere else. Then I will go to bank. So I have a cost. Borrow from bank has a cost. When you give discount to customer, that is also your cost. Remember in the morning I explained about cash account debit, discount account debit, account receivable account debit. So you are giving discount. So I am giving discount is my cost. I borrow money from bank is my cost. Both things happen related to my account receivable. So I will compare. Based on this comparison, I will make a decision whether I should give you discounts or I should not give you discounts. All right. So this is probably next slides, but I'm just trying to explain you. This is one of the things really matters when you're planning to change your credit policies. All right. So like what I explained you about cost of financing. This point we will discuss again. Another examples we have to consider about bad debts. Remember bad debts? What is the meaning of bad debts? Anybody? Any idea? What does it mean? No, what does it mean bad debts?
So half
Yes. Bad debts means bad debtors. Bad debtor means bad account receivable. Bad account receivable means the customer or account receivable do not give you money back. They bankrupt or something else. We don't know. But you will not get money back. We call them bad debts, right? So we have to consider bad debts when you are making your credit policy. If my company is an international company, I have 7 major customer in Vietnam, and in those 7 major customer, 5 customer bankrupt. In those 7, 5 do not pay me money. Only 2 pay me money. So in future, I may not be really comfortable to sell my product in Vietnam on credit based on my experience. Not only Vietnam, but any other country. Right? But I'm just trying to explain that how bad debts influence the decision of companies with regard to make changes in their credit policies. Right? So yes, bad debts also play important role. Maybe another factors could be discounts that I was discussing before. Discounts to receive early payments. Discounts for early payments. Also important factors that may influence whether is it worthiness, is it useful to give discount to customers, because again discounts equals to loss. All right, it's also reduce your profitability, so you have to consider that. So these are the things we should keep in our mind when we are evaluating the credit policy. Now let's talk about these things more in detail. Discount. Should we give discount to customer or not? The people should we give discount to those who make early payment? That is interesting question. Should we give discounts to those who make early payment? Yes or no? In order to do this, we have small formula that I was discussing before. So we call it cost of discounts. So cost or annual cost. So we are looking at cost of discounts. right? So 1 plus discount divided by amount left to pay for number of periods that company giving allowance or time period for the customers, and minus 1. It will give you idea. So we can also estimate, this is number of periods, right? Number of periods could be equals to 52 weeks divided by number of week early pays. So your number of periods would be estimated equals to 52 weeks divided by number of weeks early pay. Now, for example, you sell product. Let's say you sold product $100, right? When you sold product $100 on credit, of course, sold on credit for 3 months. 3 months means customer will pay you money after 3 months, after a quarter, right? Now, let's say 1 month passed, 2 months left, right? Now, when 2 months left, you need some money. For example, you need, I don't know, $90, for example. You need $90 now. At this time, when 2 months left, you need $90. Now, you need $90, you have two options. Option 1 is you choose financing option. Second one is you choose discount option. Financing option means you go to bank to borrow. You go to bank and you borrow. Discount option means you give discounts to customer for early payment, right? Give discounts for early payment. Discount for early payment. For example, if you give discount to customer, you need $90 and customers are not willing to give you money now. You say, okay, I'll give you 10% discount. You give 10% discounts and customer give you $90. So your cost is $10, right? Your cost is $10. You go to bank. and you ask bank, I need $90 or something, how much interest you will charge? And for example, bank says we will give you 9%. We will charge, sorry, 9%, whatever. 9% of 19 means that interest you have to pay. Right? Whatever. So I'm just trying to explain here. I'm just trying to explain in this point, if your cost of discounts is greater than cost of borrowing money to fill the gap, all right, then you will not choose this option. You will not give discounts to customer if your cost of discounts is higher than cost of borrowing debtors. That's the meaning of cost of borrowing debtors that we were discussing earlier. So you will compare cost of financing, which is this, and cost of discounting. So I can, if you want, I can write here cost of financing and cost of discounting. All right, cost of financing and cost of discounting, and then you will go with this option probably. You will go with this option if your cost of discounting is expensive. If not, then you will go with that option. If, for example, if cost of discounting is 8% and you need to go to bank to borrow and bank will charge 9%, then you will choose cost of discounting. This is also the option that company has in their credit policies. Right? That's why credit policies are important for companies to make various types of decisions. Now, another thing that we're going to discuss now company has some other, so this is the option that company can fill the gap of their money requirements, right? But company has some other option that can help them to speed up debt collection or help them to fill the gap of this money requirements, right? So other options. So remember, we were discussing about all these things, right? Now we continue with other options. Other options to fill the gap of money requirements. Money requirements. The options that I'm going to give you, if you are an old student, you know that. You already studied with me in financial management. New student will study sometime, not next week, but some other time with me. So we have two options here. One called invoicing or invoice discounting. Second option is factoring. Now I will explain you both. Invoicing, invoice discounting. Invoice discounting. And second one is factoring or we call them factoring account receivable. I hope you remember that. Factoring account receivable. Now, what is invoice discounting? For example, let's say you are a company. You are a company and you have account receivable. All right? You sell them product, right? I write here product or service, and in exchange, they give you invoice. You know invoice? Evidence that you sold product. Means they will pay you money after a specific period of time, right? But now you need money and you don't want to borrow from bank or somewhere else, all right? So what you will do, you will go to a third party. Let me write down here. You will go to a third party. So this is your third party. What you will do to third party? You will give them invoice. You will give them invoice, and in exchange, that third party will give you money. All right? Then you will give them invoice. The invoice, for example, let me write down. Invoice value is $100. All right. You will give them invoice of whatever money, and in exchange, they will give money back to you. When they will give you money back, they will give you discount. Not they will give you discount, in fact, you are giving them kind of discount. So means you give them full invoice, but they will give you 80% of money. Because 20% is their fee that you have to pay. This is called invoice discounting. Your invoice was $100, but you discounted at $80. All right? Because why don't you give them discount? You also give them discount, but they don't accept it. They demand for more, or they say that no, we don't have money at all. So that's why you need to choose a third party. Third party, sometimes we call them invoice discounter. All right, who can give you money. This person happy because he has a $20 profit. This person happy that you got the money. All right, and when times will come, this person will pay them back. All right, when time will come, this person will pay them back. Right. So this is called invoice discounting. Next one is factoring. Factoring also same like as invoice discounting, but there is a small difference between factoring and invoice discounting. So I'm writing same thing here. We have company here. Company sold its product and service to account receivable. The worth of this is $100. In exchange, account receivable issue them a invoice. Now, this company will go to a factor. This is called factor. Again, it's a third party. They will give them invoice, and in exchange, they will give them money. For example, same 80% money they will give them. Until now, it's same, no difference. So what the technical difference between this? When time will come, when the time means, for example, you're selling for 3 months. 3 months. Right here, 3 months. When 3 months here, when 3 months are finished, your account receivable will pay money to company. When 3 months, when 3 months are finished, account receivable will pay money to company. All right, means company hold a right to receive money from their account receivable. Means company has a power to manage their account receivable in their accounting system, T accounts, whatever their ledger they have. But in case of factoring, company is selling rights to factor to receive money from account receivable in future. So means when 3 months are finished, in this case, the account receivable has to pay money to factor. That's the difference between invoice discounting and factoring. All right. So the advantage of factoring is you still hold a right of your account receivable. Probably it will create a good relation with your supplier. Oh, sorry, with your account receivable. But here, account receivable may not be happy to pay money to someone else because they're dealing with you, not with them. You do not have any problem. This is not account receivable problem. This is your cash problem. You give me money, you give me time for 3 months. After 3 months, I give money to you. Before 3 months, you need money. This is your problem. That's why you gave me 3 months. So when 3 months finish, you asking me to pay money to someone else, I may not feel comfortable with that. So it may break a relation between company and the client. In this situation, customer may have negative impression on company. Maybe customer think that company has some cash related issue going on. So that's why company are selling me to someone else. Right. So let's discuss more about invoice discounting and account receivable. I hope you understand the difference between these two. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about it and then we move on to accounts payable. Some key points. So first of all, this invoice discounting is invisible. Invisible to customer. Means customer has no idea. Customer has no idea what's going on between company and other person based on my invoice. But here is visible. Second issues, not really issues, but second feature, aspect or point, company retain control. So company retain control over accounts receivable. Company has control on account receivable, but here, no control. They have control, no control, right? Another reasons could be Remember, sometimes they give them discounts, sometimes this amount is very small. Probably could be a fee. Is 0.5% to 1%. Maybe it could be more costly. Could be more costly. Another problem is reputation. Because customer doesn't like that. Right? You deal with someone. This is some basic factors that may influence these two different aspects that may speed up the cash collection or speed up or maybe help them to fill the gap for their cash requirements. So that's all for accounts receivable. Now we move on to accounts payable. Any question or move on? Move on. Remember, whatever information that I'm giving you here, it's given in your slides, like these points. I took it from your slides. It's also given there. But that's maybe my idea. I'm not sure it's given in your slides. Some of information might be in slides. Now, account receivable done. All right. We move on to accounts payable. Accounts payable. Accounts payable means, another way to understand accounts payable is the trade credit. You know trade credit? Trade credit means you buy material without paying anything. That's called accounts payable. You purchase now but pay later. Right? Buy material or supplies. Material or supplies on credit. C-R-E-D-I. Yeah, E.
EOI.
Trade. T-R-A. Trade. Now, but remember, in trade credit, buy on credit. What does it mean, buy on credit? On credit means pay later, right? But if you pay later, it may create some problems. If I say pay later means and I delay. If I delay in those payments, it may create some problems. What these problems could be? For example, problem is stock stop supplying. If you delay in the payments, do you think supplier will supply you money, material in future? No, of course not. No chance, because you're not making them payments on time. They're giving you material on time, but you're not paying them on time, so they may not be happy, right? Or they will supply only on cash. Now they will shift you from credit to cash. They said that we will supply you material. We are not stop supplying you, but we will supply you if you give us cash. So again, you deal with some cash, cost of financing, kind of way you have to find to pay to your suppliers. Maybe they will increase price. Increase price means stop discounting you. Stop giving you discount. Because normally when you buy things in a large quantity from other people, they give you discount. Discount means low price, right? But you are not making the payments on time. So they stop giving you discounts. So means price increase. So price would increase because of no discount. Another problems could be reputation. If you do not make a payments to supplier on time, it's affect your market reputations, credibility, goodwill, right? So now, but there is a very beautiful thing about accounts payable or trade credit. The beautiful thing about trade credit is trade credit is completely free of cost. It's free. It doesn't have any cost. All right, means I'm selling you, I'm purchasing product from you, supplies material from you for 3 months, $5,000. After 3 months, I will give you $5,000. If I have $5,000 right now, instead of buying things cash on you, I will invest this 5,000 somewhere and I will receive profit instead of giving you. Did you see the difference? Means it's giving you some kinds of benefit. All right. So that's why trade credit is not only free of cost. In fact, it's kind of opportunity benefits. Means instead of buying things by paying you cash, I put that cash in bank. Bank is giving me interest, $20, $30, whatever. And then when 3 months came, I take all money back from bank, put interest in my pocket as a profit, and give you 5,000. See, it's a very kind of nice deal. It's happened. It's a free of cost. Now, remember when we were discussing about accounts receivable, we compare between two things. One was cost of discounting and cost of financing. We're gonna do the same thing here. We will compare in account receivable, accounts payable, we compare two things. Which two things? First of all, amounts amount save through discounts. Amount saved through discounts. And save or extra funding cost of early payments. Now, amount saved through discounts. When you purchase things, you get discounts, right? Your supplier gives you some discounts. Now, supplier not only give you discount, but if you give money back to supplier early, supplier give you discount as well. But if you want to get discounts, you have to pay them early. If you want to pay them early, you should have a money. So you should have a money, you have to borrow money. So means you borrow money from bank and then you pay interest, cost of financing to get money. Once you get money, you will pay money to supplier. Supplier will give you discount and you compare it. After comparing whatever benefits you have, you compare that benefit with the discount that you get. So let me write down here. So cost of financing. Cost of financing for cost of financing from bank. All right. To get discount. So you pay something here, right? You pay, then you get something. You get something means early payment discount. Early payment discount. So you will compare it. Remember, amount saved through discounts means you're giving them probably cash. You're giving them cash, they will give you discount. You do not give them cash, but you give them early payment. And you will compare it. Which option is better for you? You go with that option. All right. So this is the factor that comes in a case of accounting policy. It's a little bit, account payable policy. is little bit different than your account receivable. Now, this point we should have discussed before when we're discussing about account receivable, but still we can discuss here. We call them credit risk. It's maybe part of account receivable, I guess. I don't know why your slides they put later, but I think it should be here. Credit risk. We can also maybe discuss with that. Anyway, let's discuss here. Credit risk. Dealing with credit risk. What does it mean? Dealing with credit risk. Dealing with credit risk means when you are selling product on credit, you have a risk. If you are within a country, for example, I sell my product to customer within Vietnam. I have Vietnamese company, I sell within Vietnam, no problem at all. But what if my customers are in foreign country? Then it could be a big problem because of distance and different regulations, rules, and so on. You may not track them, you may not know their reputations and so on. Like what Apple is doing in Vietnam. So how Apple feels so comfortable to create a relation with Vietnamese customers, how they are so confident and how they are avoiding any kinds of risk of losing payments. We understand how does it possible. So in order to understand that, means Apple company may do something that can help them to reduce the risk of losing payments in foreign countries. Not only Vietnam, but many other countries where their economy is not as stable as Vietnam. All right. So how Apple company can deal with that? So first of all, many reasons. We call them bills of exchange. Have you heard bills of exchange? Bills of exchange. We also call it letter of credit. Bills of exchange or letter of credit. What happened? Here is seller. This is seller. This is buyer. And this is, remember, they are in different countries. Probably same country, but normally at international. Here is bank. Seller doesn't know buyer because they are in foreign country. Doesn't know buyer means doesn't believe buyer. But buyer wants to buy product because buyer want to sell to their customers in their country. But seller doesn't believe them. So now what buyer does? buyer go to bank and request bank to issue a bills. Bills is like as kind of security or kind of credit. So means buyer will go to bank to request bank to give them some, because buyer, this bank in Vietnam is not a local company, it's a bank, and bank, you know that it's a more reputed institution rather than some other companies. So buyer will go to bank, and on behalf of buyer, bank will issue a credit to a seller, or they will issue credit to them, whatever. And based on this security, seller will willing to supply product to a buyer. So this process called bills of exchange or letter of credit. Right. So it's kind of common methods that we have.
So it's also based on the input of the contracts.
Yes, yes. Whatever contract that buyer is signing with bank, and whatever bank is signing to them. Next one is similar things, but little bit different. Guarantees. Bank are taking, this is called bills of exchange. Next one is guarantee. Guarantees means bank is giving guarantees to third party to supply product to the. It's similar one, but this one is a more common than bills of exchange is more common. So bank taking guarantee. Bank takes keys for buyer. Bank is taking guarantee for buyers to do that. What else we have? Next one is export cover. It's insurance. Export.
Sorry, we can't see the line.
Export cover. Export cover means seller will buy.
Excuse me. Nothing.
I think I have to move to next slide because its limit is finished to go down. So dealing with credit risk, maybe I write here. Dealing with credit risk. Dealing with credit risk. So the first one was bills of exchange. Second one was guarantee. Guarantee. Guarantee is same like as bank is taking guarantee on behalf of the supplier. Or sorry, behalf of the buyer. Second one, third one is export cover. Export cover is in order to avoid any political risk or any other risk of losing payments, seller buy insurance from bank in that country, right? To avoid any kinds of political risk or risk of losing payments, seller buys insurance. Seller buy insurance. This is called export cover. So with this help of these factors, we can avoid risk payments. So these are the idea behind accounts payable. Accounts payable is finished. So means the third part of topic has been done. So first part was cash conversion cycle that we did in the morning. Second part, we deal with inventory management, which is EOQ and inventory cost. Third part was about credit policy and credit risk, including account receivable, accounts payable. This is the third part of this topic. And the last part of this topic is a holding cash things that we will do it after break. So we can have a break and then.
Có gì rồi? Let me know.
Hello. Everyone, so we start. Now we move on to next, which is about holding the cash. So I may not go in detail, very basic things about why we need to hold cash. You know that. So holding cash. Why we have to hold cash? We need cash to meet day-to-day requirements, right? We also need to have cash to pay for some kinds of unexpected expenditure that may increase in a company. So in order to meet all these requirements, we need that. Plus, we also need cash to take advantage of market reputations. However, we also have some cost of insufficient cash. If we do not have enough cash, let me explain it quickly here. So we may have, so why we need to hold cash? Can I explain here? Day-to-day requirements. We need cash to pay for some kinds of unexpected expenditures, plus to take advantage of any kinds of market opportunities that we have. But we also have some kinds of cost of insufficient cash. So cost of insufficient cash probably the failure to pay debts. Means our due date is came and we have to pay back to our debt holders, but we're running out of cash. So that's in this situation, you may have to sell your assets. That probably lead to your cost. Maybe some kinds of problems you may occur if you're running out of cash, which is wage. You are not able to pay for your wages. Plus, maybe you refuse to pay for any kinds of obligations that you have towards the supplier. So that's why holding cash is important, and we could have some problems if we are avoiding to have insufficient cash. So what is the idea here? The idea is holding cash is important because if you have insufficient cash, probably you may not able to meet the requirements, because until now we were discussing that holding cash is important. Holding cash is important. But if you hold cash, will not give you return. Holding cash will not give you return. If you want return, you have to invest. Investment will increase your profitability at the end, not 100% holding cash. So that's why what is the optimum amount of cash that we should hold is based upon your your credit policy, your cash conversion cycle, or cash operating cycle that help you to determine that. So that's why, in order to do this, we have to look at our budgeting and forecasting. Budgeting and forecastings are very important aspects to create a balance between your cash that we should keep it or the cash we should invest it. So what inside budgeting? Budgeting is basically about plan. Budgeting help you to plan for your funding, plan for funding, plus your monitoring. Monitoring your performance or your usage and all. It's a tool. Remember when we were looking at the performance measurement using variance analysis and budgeting in our advanced management accounting? So it's the same thing. Second thing is forecasting, cash flow forecast. In cash flow forecast, generally you compare. You're going to compare your receipts with payment. If you compare your receipts with payments, you come up with surplus and deficit. What does it mean, surplus? Means you have cash. Surplus means receipts more than payments. And what is deficit? Payments are more than receipts. Deficit. All right, so with the help of cash flow forecasting, you would be able to manage your cash. Now, we also have some cash management models. So let's discuss about cash management models help us to manage our cash in the organizations. So cash management model that also help us to manage cash. So remember, with the help of cash management model, we're going to minimize cost between two things. Cost related to current accounts and the cost related to short-term investment. Current accounts. So with the help of cash management model, we minimize cost between two things. Which two things? Cost between two things. One is current accounts, current account, and short-term investment. Short-term investment. What inside current accounts? Current accounts means accounts in which you do not earn anything. Current accounts, any kinds of accounts in which you do not earn any interest and all that. Company open current account just to keep their cash. Current account is the account where whenever you like, you can withdraw money from that. So we call them current accounts. Current accounts has a high liquidity. It has a high liquidity and no interest. It doesn't have any interest. Short-term investment has a low liquidity with interest. Comparatively, your current accounts, we can earn some interest. So we have a problem here. What is the problem here? The problem is we don't know how much cash we should keep. The problem is we don't know how much cash we should keep here, and we don't know how much cash we should move to our short-term investment. This is the problem. Right? Remember, both are your short-term, both are liquidity, but comparatively, short-term investment, current account has a high liquidity because it does not give you any interest. Because anytime you can go and withdraw money from your accounts. Normal accounts you have, you put money in a bank, this is your normal current account. Anytime you use your ATM to make a payments, you will not receive any kind of interest. This is called current account. We have current accounts, saving accounts. So this is current accounts. Current means quick, keep going on regular basis that people or company use it. That's the meaning of current account, right? If you are using your accounts on regular basis, bank will not able to use your money to invest because you're using on daily basis. So that's why bank does not give you any interest on current account. So what could be the solution for this problem? Solution is Baumol model. It's similar to Baumol model. This model is similar to your EOQ. Right. With the help of this Baumol model, we understand the amount of fund we need in our current accounts or in our short-term investment accounts, right? With the help of Baumol model, we understand amount keep in current accounts or short-term investment with the help of this, right? So we have formula. Formula is Q. Q means amount equals to CO D divided by CH. CO is a transaction cost. Transaction cost. D is demand for cash, day to day. Demand for cash for day to day. CH is cost of holding cash. Cost of holding cash. This is Baumol model. Baumol model. So remember, if your D is high, remember, if your D is high, your Q would be high. I repeat, if D is high, your Q would be high. So demand is high. You have to keep the high quantity of money. If your CO is high, quantity would be high. If transaction cost is high, quantity for the money that you require would be high. If holding cost is high, holding cost represent the opportunity cost. Means if you hold money, you would not able to invest somewhere else. This is called opportunity cost. So if CH is high, Q would be low. That makes sense. So this is the basic idea behind your Baumol model. So we have some assumptions for Baumol model. Same like as when we were discussing about EOQ method, we have some assumptions. They are quite similar. If when interest rates are high, balance retained in current would be low. What does it mean? If you are receiving higher return of investment, return on investment, then you should retain less money in your current account, you should invest it. All right? So cash use is assumption. So you have some basic assumptions. These assumptions, first of all, is cash use is predictable. How much you're gonna use cash, it should be predictable. You should know that. Second one is you should know how much would be your cash inflow. You should know that. You should track your cash flows in your companies. Plus, you should know on daily basis, how much do you need. So based on that, you would be able to maintain your current accounts, right? Plus, you hold your extra cash in your short-term investment. So you can get return over the period of time. You are not holding that cash in your current accounts. One of the conditions is that cash should not be in your current account. Instead, it should be in your short-term investment. So no buffer cash. Same like as no buffer stocks in EOQ, same thing here, no buffer cash. So based on these assumptions, we can apply our Baumol assumptions, Baumol model. So remember, so let me open your slides to go with that. Short-term investment or borrowing. The cash management model assumes fund could be, you can get options, get fund either by liquidation of short-term assets, means you sell your short-term investment or short-term assets. You got some money, right? This. Or you borrow money for short period of time that will also give you assets. All right, so these options could be selected. Company can choose range of options. If surplus or shortfall is long-term, then long-term solution must be considered. Means if you have surplus in longer period of time, not shorter period of time, then you should consider your long-term investment or long-term borrowing, not short-term. Short-term for a shorter period of time. So short-term borrowing, you know that. You know trade credits. Remember trade credits? Trade credit means accounts payable. You know factoring. You know bills of exchange or letter of credit. Same thing. We have some other options, alternative options we have available, like as overdraft, acceptance of credit. So same like a similar to trade credit, plus leasing. All right. So I hope you know that options. Bank overdraft is same like as commercial credit cards. So company can use their credit cards to make any kinds of payments, because credit card generally free of cost in a shorter period of time. You don't have to pay any interest on that. Same thing, acceptance of credit. And third one is operating lease. Old students, you know operating lease, but the new students, you will study operating lease in your financial management. So operating lease means risk and reward do not transfer from lessor to lessee. Risk and reward still stay with lessor, owner of the assets. All right? Risk and reward stay with the owner of the assets. Overdraft, you want to explain. Now, if you are looking forward for short-term investment, if you are looking forward for short-term investment, you have multiple options. You can deposit in banks, or you can purchase some money market instruments. Remember money market, capital market instruments? For example, this. These are money market instruments. Company has to consider liquidity, the cash. But again, when you are making your investment decision, don't forget these factors. Your liquidity, your safety, no risk of loss must be taken. All right, so make sure you targeting your liquidity, but make sure you're not making any loss on that. So means if customer is asking 100% customers we are having who willing to purchase material on credit from you. So it doesn't mean that still you go with the cash option, because if you go with the cash option, you will not able to make any profit. Same thing happened with profitability. All right. And again, we should not objective to maximize our overall return. Cash management is important, but again, if you want to manage your cash, better go with the short-term investment, because short-term investment have a low liquidity. But compared to your long-term investment, short-term investment has a high liquidity. Comparatively long-term investment. So these are the factors we should consider. I think we nearly finished, so we quickly go to the practice question. Now, the last point. Different types of financing policy company can adopt in order to manage their cash. So these policies called funding policies. Funding policies. So we have three different types of funding policies. One is aggressive. Second one is conservative. And third one is a matching. So under aggressive policies, company focus more on current assets with short-term finance. So what does it mean? Company finance is short-term assets. So means same like as, remember when we look at the factoring account receivable, right? In other words, we can say that short-term borrowing, short-term finance. Aggressive is short-term finance. Short-term finance means is quite risky because you have a less period of time to return money what you have been borrowed. This is called aggressive. Long-term finance. Long-term finance is less risky because you have a longer period to return money back. Short-term finance to finance your current assets. Long-term finance to finance your long-term assets. And what is matching? Matching means you match your duration of investment with duration of finance. What does it mean? It means for how long you borrow, how long you invest. You know why we are matching that? Because at the end of this period, you have to pay money. And at the end of this period, you get money. I repeat. When your investment period ends, you will get money. Right? When your borrowing period ends, you have to pay money. So you will match. you will match. How much is the difference between your matching period, investing period and financing period? So it's close to each other would be better options. Because it is close to each other, when your one investment mature, you use those investment to make a payments of your borrowing period of time. All right. So this is kind of, we call them matching strategy company apply to arrange funds or make a payments of those kinds of fundings. Topic 6 is finished. Now still we have a time to do a practice question, right? So let's do some practice question that we have. Okay, so here is your question. I go back here. This is question you also have in your practice book, practice notes or something. This is exercise 3. So it says that a manufacturer with demand, D is 24,000, ordering cost 200, holding cost 10%, and the price of item is £8. With the assumptions of EOQ model is faced with discount 5% on purchase of 5,000 boxes or more. Are other factor being same? Should discount be accepted? Should company pay a discount on such kinds of purchase? So we have to find out. So first of all, we need to calculate our EOQ. How much is EOQ? Quickly calculate and give me answer. So what you need to do here, the main idea here is you will calculate. I repeat, you calculate your total annual cost based on two things. Based on your 5,000 boxes, based on your 5,000 or more, or based on your EOQ units, and then tell me which option is better. Either 5,001 or the other one.
So calculate probably with 5,000. Remember, either you order your EOQ units. If you order EOQ units, what would be your total cost? If you order 5,000, that probably will give you discounts. How much would be your cost? So, you finished with EOQ? How many EOQ did you calculate?
9797.9.
EOQ.
Nice.
9795?
9,700 and 97.95.
Anybody else? Same, different? Yes, that's right. 3,464 units. Now, based on these units, calculate total cost and tell me how much is that. So what is the formula? Formula is ordering cost plus holding cost plus purchase cost, right? Purchase cost. That would be your total cost. Go with your ordering cost. How much would be your ordering cost? How much would be your ordering cost? No. ordering cost is 200, but how did you get ordering cost last time when you go with EOQ question? Remember? Here. How did you get your ordering cost? How did you get your ordering cost? Yes. Total demanded divided by EOQ. How much is demand and how much is your need? The rest is the order. All right. So, how much? How much? Ordering cost. 1385. Point 1385.68. Everybody got it? Yes or no? Have you got this number? No? Okay. Demand divided by how much is demand? 24. And how much is EOQ? 3464.
Before the decimal, like I can do that is 464.1.
0.1, I think keep it full decimal, okay. Go with money is fine. Money with decimals, okay, but unit create complications. So 3464 would be. So now stock holding. Calculate stock holding or holding cost. Stock holding, remember the formula? The formula is average quantity, right? Multiply by holding cost. How much is average quantity?
17.
So, how much is average quantity?
1732.
1732. Yes. 1732. You know how we got this number?
No.
Look, this is the way. Average stock multiplied by cost of stock holding. Average stock, order quantity. How much is order quantity? How much is order quantity? 3464. EOQ is the order quantity that we can order. All right. We have this. We divide by this. We got this. So average stock is 1732. Multiply by holding cost. How much would be the holding cost? 0.8. Everybody? 0.8? Yes. 10% of your A. So How much? How much is this? 1,385.6. This one? Now, the third one is your probably total cost or whatever you want to call it, purchase cost or total cost. So, calculate this. This demand multiplied by purchasing price per unit. How much is demand? 24,000. And how much is the price? How much is the price? So, how much?
192,000.
Yes. 192,000. Yes or no? So, how much would be the total cost if you go with one option? So, this plus this plus this. So, what is the answer?
184,771.58.
1,001.
194,771.
194
771.
771.28.
28.
Yes or no? Now 5,000. So I suggest you to do 5,000 at home and compare it. After comparison, you come up with the idea which option we should select. 194 options or the other one, whichever is the cheaper option, we will choose that option. So please stop here. So make sure you complete this one, and I will send you solution for maybe two more questions, I guess. No, 3 more questions we have. I will send you solution for that. And this topic is done. Now I will see you on Tuesday. Tuesday, right? So we will study Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. All right. So I'll see you. Thank you.